Good afternoon, Gra Hoy, Chief Executive, AELP. A few thoughts now with Apprenticeship Week upon us, and how important it is, and how much progress have we made over the last couple of years in getting apprenticeships onto the agenda. Not just on the political agenda, because we have to say they were heavy up the political agenda with the last government. I mean, we have to be very careful here. The great big growth and priority is well established over recent years, but really, of course, being pushed hard by the current coalition government, and we have to give credit as well. But not only in government speak, but I think increasingly in the awareness and the perception of the nation as a whole. We're beginning, we don't hear so often now, it's a shame that apprenticeships aren't still with us. And up until recently, we're still bumping into people saying, well, I don't hear that so much now. I think the nation has realised that apprenticeships are back, and back in a big way. And it's very interesting. I think we've actually got one message a bit wrong, that we're hearing very much about the new apprenticeship starts. I mean, 450,000 in the last 12 months. Fantastic figure that is. What I haven't heard about, that actually transcribes into the fact that there are 750,000, give or take, apprentices at the moment in the country. 750,000. Never had that many, I think, ever in our history. So they're certainly back with a vengeance. And Apprenticeship Week, I think, really is the opportunity to push those kind of figures. This is really big business, and apprenticeships really are at the heart, not so much of the government skills strategy, which they are, increasingly at the heart of employers' skill development strategy. They really are now taking on apprentices and heavily investing in them, seeing them as the answer to their future high school requirements. So fantastic news, I think, in Apprenticeship Week here. And we're probably, those of us on the inside, underselling what we're actually doing. We sort of just get our head down and get on with it. And I think it's a huge message which we've got to be a little immodest about, and saying, hang on, we've got 750,000 out there now. We started nearly 500,000 last year, 750,000. And guess what? 76.4, is it, percent of them complete, fully complete, a very comprehensive, and the satisfaction levels of these apprentices and their employers with the providers, sky high. I mean, what a story. How many of us, including me, would have thought we'd be saying this story 5 years ago? In fact, I was saying 5 years ago, when people were starting to say we've got to get completion rates up to 75%. I was just saying, well, careful here. There's some, let's not over-egg it. Let's not go for something which is undeliverable. Well, how unambitious was I? Here we are past those figures now, and it's the providers and indeed the policy underpinning all that, which we must give credit for. So fantastic. Apprenticeship Week, they're here to stay. They're here in big numbers. Highly successful, and they are, of course, to quote our Skills Minister John Hayes, apprenticeships are filling a much bigger space in the skills agenda in this country than the traditional young person, 16, 17-year-old. That's still there, going into a job for the first time with an employer getting trained. That hasn't gone away. That is rising substantially year on year, but apprenticeships is much, much bigger than that. It is actually now a model of learning on the job, which is being transformed into an all-age model. Apprenticeships for all age, not just for 16, 17-year-olds, not just for 19 to middle 20-year-olds. But what's age got to do with it? We've got people here with the scope to work at a higher level. Employers want them. We have frameworks designed. We're now seeing people of all ages moving into level 2, level 3, level 4 higher apprenticeships coming in with a bang this year at the core of the skill development activity of this country, based like never before on learning at work, based on theory learnt away from work, fantastic, and experience of that theoretical training actually put to immediate practice. And that model, the apprenticeship model, which actually was rather restricted in who could get to it, how long ago we were saying, the trouble is I missed an apprenticeship and I'm too old now. How many times have I heard that in my lifetime? You missed a chance if you don't go in at 14, 15, 16, depending on the era. We've now got a situation where employers are saying we've got key people here who are capable of doing even more, they want to do more. There's an apprenticeship framework over here. Let's take the framework, see how much they've already learned, often quite a bit, and let's just finish the darn job off and get a whole range of apprentices who are learning at work exactly what employers need. Fantastic. I'm enthusiastic about it. Some of us have been arguing for this kind of picture for many a long year, or should I say decade. I actually think here at Apprenticeship Week, we can actually turn the clock back a bit and look backwards and say, hang on, some of the aspirations, are being achieved and we may not quite have realised it yet. Fantastic week, fantastic title, apprenticeship's here to stay, and we haven't finished yet. You watch us carry on growing. Work-based learning, work-located learning is what it's all about. At long last, as a nation, we seem to have grasped the nettle.